Good afternoon, good evening, good night, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another scene set in the Chronicles of Darkness, Vampire Requiem. A Requiem for London. Tonight, we set the scene just outside a simple warehouse somewhere in the borough of Haringey. Cold, desperate, and ever so hungry. Isobel has been haunted by pervasive dreams of snakes and vampires. Of snakes and vipers gnashing at her heels ever since she took in Morgan's blood. Every night she has woken up in a cold sweat. Yep. Okay,
Thank you for my gift.
no problem.
Love you.
Love you too.
Thank you.
Alright. Alright.
Not like that. Don't forget you got to do yourself your hot dogs, yeah?
Yeah, I know. Alright. Sorry about that. Every night she's woken up in a cold sweat. A burning sensation has ran up her legs and through her spine. Almost as if... Mm-hmm.
Oh, you nearly done talking?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
don't say
please.
like that, Chris.
Almost as if something had poisoned her. But the burning sensations always end. And she's able to get up and go about her nightly business. But tonight, the dreams have become too violent. The sensation has not gone away. And you almost feel as if you've been chased to this place. A message of your God's displeasure. Mortal cold, well, the cold temperature doesn't usually mean much for you, but tonight it's actually biting. And it seems to compound the constant burning, niggling pain in your body. And that is to say nothing of your hunger. As the beast threatens to tear itself out of your chest at any moment. What is Isabel feeling right now? What does she look like as well?
She's probably she's definitely having to wear dark clothing because she hasn't been able to heal her wounds yet, so she's still got those, so she's having to wear dark clothing to kind of cover that up. I would assume she's probably tried to kind of douse herself in some sort of perfume or body spray to also cover up any smells for like normal people if she has to walk past them or whatever. She definitely looks like she hasn't gotten any sleep, and she just in general looks extremely rough. And is probably dug out a jacket that she doesn't ever actually hasn't had to use, since she's been embraced, and is wearing a jacket for the first time, trying to get rid of the cold feeling.
Perhaps less than presentable. And feeling far worse. You make your way into this warehouse. You can smell it from here. A strange exotic incense. Not entirely sure if it's another hallucination. It's very sweet. Like honey almost. And it draws you in. And as you make your way in, you see that the warehouse has been retrofitted into some makeshift temple. Many of the large catwalks have been wrenched off and moved. Windows replaced with black tint. No light escapes this place. The only sources of light are the candles and torches that surround the altar. A shrine to Seth and his wife consort Nethys. Surrounding them, you can vaguely make out mortal cultists praying before the shrine. Others tending to their peers who appear to be in some drug-fueled haze. Some sort of ritual. And you make out three kindred standing before the altar, the source of the darkness within the room as it shifts unnaturally. I'm just going to put them in what you see. The first is a familiar figure. Lynette. second. Less so, you haven't seen her before. But her breath is black smoke. So dense and viscous it is almost liquid. Like oil dripping from her mouth. Never is a man you haven't seen before. He is sweet on the eyes, his head partially shaven on each side, quite short. A tattoo runs up his neck. He appears to be of, I would say, at least partially Arabic descent. He's almost invisible in the shadow, even for your kindred eyes. The shadows begin to leave their place in the room. And begin to surround you.
I think any other time she might have been freaked out, but at this point she's so used to shadows that she's probably just gonna kind of stand there for a moment and look around.
Mm-hmm. Pardon, I didn't quite hear that last part.
She's probably just gonna stand there and look around before trying to take a couple of steps towards the three of them. Hello.
The
I
gnats.
want to see if I can come and meet snakes. Considering I'm part of the cult.
And the gnat will approach you, Isobel. As she says, "Stand. My children, for a daughter of Seth approaches." She looks at you as if for you to respond to this strange greeting.
Isabel's gonna, as dumb as it sounds, Isabel's gonna kind of look around like she's unsure of if Nanette meant her or someone else.
You look tired.
Sleep has been interesting, if we could call it that. She's gonna kind of shake one of her arms, like showing off the jacket, and she's gonna be like, I don't think I'm supposed to feel cold.
That is because you have been marked. You bear the gaze of the gods' displeasure. As your faith has wavered, so has your very blood left your body. He stares at you intensely.
I would like to get that fixed if that's possible. I don't like this feeling.
Her face scrunches somewhat. One does not fix faith. One has it, or they do not. Your blood is no supplement for belief. But should you falter in your belief, so shall your blood reject you. And your beast feast on the remains. Do you have faith, Isobel?
Isabel's gonna look around for a minute.
Everybody's watching you, all the mortals, all the kindred.
I did once. I would like to say that I still do, but I don't think it is as strong as it used to be.
You have been weakened, bound, chained, and dragged away from the righteous path, from those that would seek to control you. By those that would seek to turn you into a tool for a decaying, rotting order that serves no purpose. But to slowly perpetuate its own spiral into death. But your purpose is not that of entropy. And your blood knows this. You know this. It is not your place to be the vessel of some venture. You wish to be better, to be more.
I do.
But to break such chains, especially those we cannot see, is a great feat. And it does not come without its sacrifices, Isobel.
I didn't think it would.
Devotion requires it. All things require sacrifice. Faith most of all. Our duty most of all. And freedom. Step forward before the altar, Isobel.
Isobel will step forward.
As you step forward, you see on your body shadows shaped like chains whirling around you. At first it doesn't feel like anything at all, it's just the lack of light on your body. As you approach the altar, you can feel them press against your skin, your body. You feel it drag you down to your knees. You can feel the artificial love you have for Morgan. Almost like it's sort of beating within your chest. Like, this is not what you want. This is not what she wants, so this is not what you want. What would Morgan think for you to be in this position? She would not want you to look like this. She would not want you to betray her like this. She put so much effort into you, raised you as if you were her own child. You can feel that guilt weigh you down more than the chains themselves. Then it says something in Egyptian, a short phrase. Look into their eyes, Isobel. Look into the eyes of the gods and tell them of your plight, and perhaps they will answer. Perhaps they will forgive you. And we, as their voice, shall answer.
Isobel will look up, and you said it was altars with statues on it, correct?
2 shrines, 1 to Seth, 1 to Nephis.
Okay. So Isobel will look up and kind of fix her gaze on the one of Seth. And simply say, help me help me be free of the... I'm trying to think of how I want to word it. Help me be free of the influence that has taken hold of me, and I will devote myself to you, working for your forgiveness.
Oh, so placid, the gods will never listen to that. Roll me... I'm joking. Roll me presence plus persuasion.
Show me some balls for God.
Am I still at... this is with the dice penalties, isn't it?
Hmm?
This is with the dice penalties, is it?
What are your current dice penalties?
Because of hunger, or no?
No, that's a control check.
Okay. That is a single success in that case.
In the altar to Nephthys, you can see that she's holding a small bowl. And you see Nanette take it. And she begins to chant. You see her bleed into the bowl. The darkness cuts her wrists, her hands. As dark, almost black vitae begins to bleed into the bowl. She is then joined by Elysia, and then by Mossweb. Their chanting roughly translates to, rise up, O child, strike at the chains that crush all souls in common. He is roused at your coming, enfolds you in his arms, kisses you, consumes you, fixes the undying stars in their orbits around you, the false goods fear you, the eternals surround you. Your monthly feasts are made of it, your yearly feasts are made of it, as ordained and made evident by Seth, your torturer, your father, your lover. Rise up, old child, you shall not die. As they bleed into the bowl, as you plead before the altars, a simple shadowy hand rises up from the darkness, takes the bowl away from the free habit as they chant. And simply hands you the bowl.
Isobel will take it and drink from it.
As you drink it, the taste grips you like a vice. You feel your beast in your throat as it compels you to guzzle down every last drop. For the first time in several nights, you feel the uninterrupted, unconstrained bliss of drinking the blood of another kindred. And it is ecstatic. But once you've drank it, it is almost as if something blocks your throat. It's like you're choking. You don't need to breathe, but you feel like you have to and you can't. And you fall to the ground. Collapsing is almost something akin to sleep paralysis overtakes you. And you feel yourself falling into an abyss. And your vision fades. I am now going to take Isobel to the RP2 channel, because what she sees next, only she will see.
Oh boy.
I believe in you, don't give the finger to God.
Oh, 1 second. Oh. There we go. So, Isobel. First thing you see when you wake up.
Ooh, Bishop, I cannot hear you.
Hello? Hello? Am I here? Hello?
Mm-mm. Let me leave and come back and see if it's at home. Hello. I can hear you now.
Excellent. So first thing you see, you wake up, is an empty sky, almost black clouds cover the entire landscape, raining down on you. You're very wet and rather cold. And you can hear the drifting sound of water beneath you. You feel, as you're lying down, something scaly. You're resting on something scaly. You look at it. You see yourself drifting on a giant snake down what appears to be a deep, dark ocean that stretches for miles. I'm actually going to show you what your sort of situation looks like, because it has a great picture. There you go, that's what it looks like. He's resting on a large, dark snake. It seems to be swimming through the ocean, slithering through it almost. You feel even hungrier than you did before, but you do not feel the presence of your beast. You just feel like you're starving and you're tired.
She's gonna kind of lift her head, on only her head at this point, because she's probably freaking out, and she's just gonna where am I?
The giant snake does not seem to answer you. In fact, it doesn't even seem to notice you. But the water as it splashes on you almost seems to claw at you like a rake. That's how cold it is. Lifting yourself up is quite dizzying. You don't feel very well.
She's gonna continue to try and get the snake's attention then at this point, and kind of try to bang her fist on its back where she's resting. And say, I asked a question.
Bang your fist against the snake and you still have the mighty figure. The snake sways slightly. It hisses violently. It raises its head and turns to look at you.
She will shrink down a little bit, because it's still a giant snake. But she will repeat, "Where am I?"
It looks up. It looks around you. And then it looks at you quizzically. You can roll me a wits plus empathy check.
Four successes.
Okay. The way it looks at you, it's almost as if it doesn't understand what you're saying. No, it does understand what you're saying. It's almost like it's trying to tell you that perhaps that isn't the right question. But even here, you can't speak snake. Its head suddenly juts forward and it hisses at you.
Isobel will flinch back.
So you lurch back. And lazily and haphazardly, you slip off its back and into the ocean. And the cold seems to tear at every part of your body, as if your entire body is engulfed in agony, like your entire body is being stretched apart and then crushed back together, like it's being shredded and ground up. It becomes impossible to breathe. Again, you feel like you need to breathe. And you begin to drown. Sinking beneath the waves. And you'll lose consciousness again. And then you wake up, still freezing cold, almost unable to move. You find yourself on a shoreline. Covered in sand. Still wet. You think you may have washed up a few hours ago?
She's gonna force herself to at least get up to on her knees and look around. She is absolutely just gonna ignore the sand, though. She's just gonna sit there and shiver and try and look around and see if there's anything that she can see.
Sitting up is... Again, it's dizzying. Everything feels so hazy. Combination of the cold and your hunger, it's just so difficult to move. But you see what appears to be a shoreline that turns into a desert before you. And you see and hear the massive churning of the sand as you see the same snake churn through the sand.
She's gonna force herself up and walk towards the snake.
You stumble a few steps towards it, but you don't know how much longer you can keep walking. Every step is painful. The comfort you once had in darkness is all but gone. It just hurts now. You think you might die here.
She's gonna look at the snake, still unsure if it can understand her or hear her or anything at this point.
It's sort of heading up and beneath the ground. It appears to be moving away from you.
She's going to gather every little ounce of strength she may have left, and instead of asking this time, she's going to demand, help me.
The snake continues to churn through the sand unabated. As you sort of stumble towards it. But it seems to sliver and dig and move faster than you can walk. You still keep stumbling towards it, though. You still try and keep up with it. You can still see it, even if it's further away. Do you say anything else? At this point, you are quite deep into the desert. But unlike your average desert, this place is freezing cold, not hot. The thirst, however, is still there.
Yeah, actually, she'll start her sentence once more with the help me, but then she's going to, she'll pause as she once more kind of forces herself to be loud, since the snake is fairly far away. So she's gonna yell, "Help me find myself." And she will even tack on a please at the end, because she's starting to get desperate at this point.
It continues to churn and sliver through the sand. But as you continue to follow it, you see something in the distance. A pyramid that's entirely black. Obsidian. It seems to be heading towards it.
And she will continue to struggle after it.
You make your way to the pyramid, chasing after the snake as much as you can, impotently so, but still trying with everything you have left. But when you get to the pyramid, you feel your legs give out. You can't keep up anymore. what does Isobel do now?
How close is she to the pyramid?
Maybe a few dozen meters.
She's just gonna... Oh, my computer screen fell up. Come back. No. Oh, there it is. She's gonna look up. And once more, with as much as she can manage, this time she's just gonna simply say, forgive me.
There is no answer. Do you do anything else? Do you say anything else? Do you repeat what you say?
She's gonna repeat what she says and attempt to move forward.
You maybe get forward a meter. At this point you're sort of scrunched up in the sand. Light fading from your eyes. Any last words?
Yeah, she's just gonna kind of, as she probably curls into a ball, she's gonna, just say, please don't let me die here, please. Please forgive me.
As you say that, as you sort of scream into the void for the third and final time, you'll see or feel something, someone touch you with their hand. The cold, no longer tearing at you, but feeling peaceful, even comforting for just a moment. There's this woman of light brown skin, bright white eyes, long dark hair. Her fingernails pitch black. There we go. And you see this man in a shroud emerge from the entrance to the pyramid itself, looking for something, for someone. And then he seems to find it in you. Yeah. They lift up your fragile body. It's no longer painful to be here anymore. Your body is numb but in bliss. It's almost like being bitten. but more. There's a certain rapture to it. The body feels light. Even though you cannot move. Even though you've been in so much pain, part of you feels like it would rather be nowhere else. Part of you feels like it is home. As you're brought into the pyramid, it's almost like centuries pass. You spend so long down here. For the first many centuries, timeless years, difficult to tell in a place where it's just covered in clouds and blackness and desert. An empty ocean. They raise you as if you were their own child. They are your parents, your torturers, your lovers. You see them raise you as if they were your sires. From nothing to something. They train you, they teach you. You learn the ways of Seth, of Nephis, of obtenebration, of your duty, of the worlds beyond. Sometimes you visit them. Sometimes they send you from the pyramid into other places, familiar places. To the deserts, to ancient cities. To cull the ignorant, or the arrogant, or the unworthy. And you do so with no remorse. It is their bidding. You chase charioteers to their doom. Bring gladiators to their knees. Pharaohs to their end. They break you in that. They torture you. They test you with all sorts of things, all sorts of little things. And every time you fail, it's as if your own blood takes something away from you. You feel the cold tear at you again. You feel the waters that should nourish your body eat you up from the inside, as if you're being bitten by 101 snakes. Burning venom coursing through your veins. Everything becomes a test. To hone you, to shape you, and if necessary, break you. And you come to understand that sometimes you must be broken if you are to shape yourself into something better. And it is not just in the form of pain. There are pleasures unbound in here. Things that, in the world you once were, would never be accepted, or forgiven, or believed. And you indulge in it all. to excess. You learn the deepest depths to which vice can reach. How to use it, how to become it, how it can shape others, how it shapes you. And they are your lovers. There is nothing sweeter than their embrace. Their kiss or their care. And in that you would serve them forever. For you know that they are not tyrants or monsters, but they are the heart which beats in your chest, the blood that courses through your veins. And it is the pain they inflict on you and the love they grant you that sustains you, perhaps more than your vitae ever will. And in that, with one final embrace, you're going to reawaken. And we're going to move back to the RP channel.
Okie dokie.
So, how was meeting God?
Well, I'm alive.
Isobel, you wake up. And the moment you do, you vomit a torrential tide of black bile.
Alright, hold on, Chris, because I once more.
I was gonna say, is he like super quiet or robo?
Ah, there we go. Am I better?
Yeah, now you're better.
Okay. When you wake up, you vomit a torrential tide of black bile.
That's not good. Or normal.
And in your head rings a name, which I'm going to give you.
Okay.
That is the name. You feel pulled to it.
Okay.
Am I here? Hello? There we go. When the name rings in your head, you feel pulled to it. But Nanette will approach you and say, "You are redeemed." And you feel a pull to her, to all of the followers of Seth, a deep, deep devotion and love that was not present before. A drive to serve them in every way.
That sounds about right.
Rise up, O child.
Isobel will not even hesitate to do so.
Let me see the mark of his favor. She sort of places her hand on your cheek. And sort of runs it through her hair, almost like pushing it back. She tilts your neck to one side. She seems to notice something. Hartwell, you notice Isobel has a mark on her. On her, sort of on the right side of her neck. It is a very small jackal's head. Although it appears to be etched into her skin, not too dissimilar to a tattoo, but she never got one.
Fuck it, let's go to Bad Decision Island. Chris, can I spirit touch the tattoo?
No,
Let's go to
Thank you, Rick.
Bad Decision.
I just want to know what it's made of.
because she is the tattoo.
Interesting. Okay, that's deeply disconcerting.
And Nanette will pull Isobel in, and she will gently whisper to you, with his mark and name. Tell me the name you hear.
Isobel will only hesitate for a second before saying, probably equally as quiet as Nanette is speaking, Francesca.
Nanette's touch reminds you of her. Of that place. It's very soft, it's comforting. But she will say, then you must find her and bring her to the cradle. It is their will. Find them, break them, and free them. You know what you must do.
Isobel nods. I will.
You will be placed in the care of Mossweb. He will teach you well. He will teach you how to bring Francesca to the cradle. Can you do this?
Isobel nods one more time.
Okay. Does Hartwell have anything you would like to add before we end the scene?
Hartwell, who's been leaning kind of nonchalantly against a wall, is this in the same temple, the one that we've always used?
Nope. It's in
where's the new
Haringi.
temple? Huh?
It's in a borough called Haringi.
There's a borough called Haringi?
I can't pronounce it properly. Haringi. Haringey.
Is it nice?
No.
Okay. It's nice now. Hartwell just kind of rolls his shoulder as he walks towards her with both of his hands in his pockets. He looks at her and he just says, "So you're not hers anymore then?"
You are not Isobel. You feel nothing for Morgan anymore.
Isobel will absolutely shake her head.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, she's gone.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, you still love that woman. I take it that we understand each other.
Yeah, I don't feel like getting ripped into tiny shreds.
Valid. Kind of looks at Nanette and he goes, "I take it this enchantment will hold in the event that she's forced to drink again."
His will... sorry. Actually, she'll say. His will cannot be broken by a simple pretender.
It's funny, if you think about the poetry. We play the matters of gods here, when it is we're dealing with a woman who mistakenly thinks she's a god. Poetry in there.
Perhaps.
He places one hand on his childish shoulder before he will say, "And strangely, I have never been more proud of you, my dear. Welcome home."
Aw, it's gonna make Isobel feel real good.
That's all I got.
And I think with that, we can end the scene now. Thank you players for playing, thank you watchers for watching, we'll see you all next time. Bye bye.